Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. So today we're going to continuing Time Crisis retrospective series that I am calling Crisis Center, and today we're taking a look at one of the two spin-off games, Raising Storm. And when I say this is absolutely an action-packed, amazing game, I 100% mean it. And honestly, even if it isn't in the mainline Time Crisis franchise, it is my favorite Time Crisis game. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. But interestingly enough, Raising Storm came out in arcades without the Time Crisis title, and only when it was ported to the PlayStation 3 did it actually inherit the Time Crisis title before Raising Storm. And this did run on a PlayStation 3 based arcade board, the System 357, so honestly porting it home was probably very easy. And even though this isn't part of the mainline franchise, it has all of the gameplay, all of the mechanics you know, love, and remember from the Time Crisis franchise, but it just absolutely goes over the top and kind of feels like Gears of War combined with a light gun shooter. The destructibility in the environments is ramped up to 11 here. It is absolutely over the top, sending so many enemies and robots at you. This is just basically light gun perfection in my opinion. And while I love the entire Time Crisis franchise and it's always a fun time, there's just something about this game here that always makes me happy when I play it. I remember first seeing this in an arcade in Chicago, and then I picked it up on the PlayStation 3 with the Move controllers, and it works super well. But take a look at the destructibility in the environments. It is just ramped up to 11 here. You're having these gigantic firefights in these indoor areas at the beginning of the game, and absolutely everything is exploding around you, and this wall just has chunks flying off of it. This is maybe some of the best destruction I've ever seen in a game of this era, and it's interesting that Crisis Zone, the game that came before this, it was also a spin-off, started that destructibility. It seems like in the franchise, these spin-off games do something different, and they love absolutely just watching things explode around you. You have so many fun enemies, and you even have this sequence in which you need to be very strategic with your spots, because you have to shoot all of the bad guys without hitting any hostages. And I kind of like the fact that Raising Storm always changes up its gameplay. It's going to give you new weapons, it's going to give you new set pieces, there's even going to be a sniper battle in the game, harkening back to something like Silent Scope, and I really do enjoy that, even though we saw that on Time Crisis 4 as well. There's a little bit of Metal Gear Solid vibes here too. It kind of reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4 with all of the different robots in that game. So it kind of feels like a combination of Time Crisis, Gears of War, as well as Metal Gear, and it's just over the top action, and this game is concise and tight as well. It takes about 30 minutes to see the game from start to finish, and it is just a tight 30 minutes. And I love that they let you keep the rocket launcher here and just absolutely mow down the standard scrub bad guys. They're just exploding and flying all over the screen. And the physics in this game are absolutely outstanding as well for PlayStation 3 era. Everything has a nice weight and movement to it, so when you blow something up, you really feel like you've done some impact. But this level right here, this market area, is what really sold me on the game when I first played it. And trust me, the storyline is absolutely insane and non-essential. It has nothing to do with the main Time Crisis series, but it is fun all the same. But watching all these pineapples and cabbages explode and the camera fast moving back and forth as you have a firefight in this little market area just 100% impressed me back in the day, and I still love playing this section. You shoot the exploding barrels and everything just goes flying. And that's what this game really does sell better than I think any other game in the Time Crisis franchise. The over-the-top gun battles in some sort of market square area just really make it feel like you are a one-man army that could take on the world and absolutely decimate everything. And you have different styles. You're shooting up, you're shooting down from an elevated position. This game constantly changes what you're doing, so everything feels fresh, new, and modern. Every 2 to 3 minutes you're engaged in something completely different, so it really does keep the overall flow and pacing good. You even get these waves of enemies. None of them are going to hit you, they're pretty stupid, but you just feel like you're mowing down an entire enemy platoon all at once. And you'll even get in these disadvantaged positions where everyone is trying to come over the top on you. And like I said, definite Metal Gear vibes. But this game definitely has that classic PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era brown, and all of the ridiculous voice acting and over-the-top music. So go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, and I'll come back and show you more Raising Storm.
Kraken, move in behind Bravo! Incoming missile! Shoot him down! Take him down! Here comes some more! I have a bad feeling about this. Cease fire! Lure it over here! Crazy skills, huh?
Awesome music, cheesy voice acting, everything you need out of a good light gun arcade game, and all of the bosses here are massive set pieces, way more so than the actual Time Crisis franchise. And it kind of feels like the entire development team that had been working on Time Crisis just decided to do something completely different in the same genre, and it shows here because while it is a Time Crisis game in name, it has its own flair, and I absolutely love how it changes up its mechanics. This sniper section just 100% works. It is challenging, it is fun, but if you miss a shot, it's because you missed it. You're going to get a little bit of inherent camera sway here like you would if you're actually doing this in real life, and you need to headshot everybody or get 2 quick shots off, or else you're going to set off the alarm and there's going to be a lot more people coming by, which you will see here. So now we basically have to complete our mission by trying to eliminate all of these enemies while a laser locks onto the building ready to absolutely destroy it. And this is what I really do like about Raising Storm. Sure, Time Crisis 4 had a sniper section quickly, but for the most part it was a one and done occurrence. This is a much longer level and it really does mix up its gameplay. I absolutely love the Silent Scope franchise, so I get a little bit of those vibes here, and it is a lot of fun. And for a side story, this game really does feel like they absolutely loved making it, and I love as the space laser comes down and blows up a building, because if you haven't noticed already, this is set in the future. And this is just, again, an awesome PlayStation 3 game visually. I love how bright and cheery some of the levels are, this sunlight glow as you're fighting on these rooftops, and absolutely everything's blowing up around you. And you can use the environment to your advantage. There's going to be exploding barrels. You can basically destroy buildings and knock enemies to their death without actually having to shoot them. This game is very smart and creative with its light gun mechanics, so really there are ways to eliminate enemies quicker than just unloading the clip on your machine gun on them. And of course, because in the arcades this used a IR sensor, and at home it uses the move, there's not going to be any screen flashing, which is nice. And like I said here, with the environmental destruction, if you focus on that actual girder there, you're going to be able to knock down all of the scaffolding and move on quicker. And then we even have those tanks in the back that you can shoot. And who doesn't love a gigantic robot spider? In real life I hate all spiders, but robots for some reason don't really bother me that much. Or maybe it's a scorpion, maybe a combination of both. But again, it is just a massive action set piece. And this spider battle is going to last 3 to 4 minutes. It's going to have multiple phases, multiple different configurations. You're really going to have to be good on your aiming the entire time if you want to take this thing down. And that's what Raising Storm does the best. It challenges you, it gives you tons of action, it never stops moving, and it always changes itself up to keep things creative and fresh. And that's what the Time Crisis franchise needed around this time, because we had 4 mainline entries. We had Project Titan on the PlayStation 1, we had Crisis Zone that, while it was a spin-off, felt very much like a Time Crisis game. Raising Storm freshened up the formula, and some of this over-the-top ridiculousness definitely will show up in Time Crisis 5 when we do that video. So hopefully one day, if we do get a Time Crisis 6, they will keep kind of this theming and intent. Maybe not the over-the-top ridiculousness of the voice acting and that PlayStation 3 Gears of War style cheesiness, but the overall intensity and set piecing in the game. There's only one thing this game does that I hate, and I will show it to you in just a moment, but it's one of those things in light gun games I absolutely cannot stand. But this final firefight here with all of these choppers coming in, having to shoot the laser cannons, it just works. And that's the great thing about Raising Storm. Every single thing it does works well. There is no one weak spot in this game. It is action-packed from start to finish. You play it long enough to enjoy it, but by the time you feel like you're kind of waiting to move on, the game is going to be finished up. And you'll see here the final boss battle with the spider. All you need to do is hold the cursor over him, and we're going to shoot another laser. And this is just a fun way to end the fight, because this spider has seemed indestructible up until this point in time. And again, they give you one more spectacle set piece before you go on your final mission. You'll see here we're about ready to die, and that space laser comes down and absolutely obliterates the spider, but I love that all of the soldiers on that walkway there somehow were unharmed, even though an explosion just happened in their face. But this game does the one thing in light gun games I absolutely hate at the end. There is a secret 4th mission, and you have to destroy all of these missiles coming in. If you let more than 2 get by, it's going to destroy the bridge, and you're not going to be able to see the final mission. This is something I've never liked in arcade games. If people paid the money to get to the end, just let them see how it finishes. Don't make them play the entire game over again, because you'll see here we have all these missiles coming in, and I'm trying to hit them all, but honestly they're too far away for me to get them all at once, and I end up failing the mission. But short of that, play Raising Storm, bring a friend, it's easier as a 2-player game, and just enjoy the absolute ridiculous nature of this spin-off. It has everything you need, it has nothing you don't, and it is a great addition to the Time Crisis franchise. But don't worry, I'll be back next week with more Time Crisis. I have more videos throughout the week, but leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think of Raising Storm. Short of that, we're done, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.